Hey guys, I am so ready to say Merry Christmas. Maybe it won't be too long before I can start saying Merry Christmas, guys, but it's not quite here yet. I'm still doing my holiday series though, and I'm enjoying every minute of it. And some of you may know that I recently moved from my home to an apartment because of a house fire. We're in the process of building back and all that good stuff, and it's just taking some time, but I don't have a lot of decorations because I lost them in the house fire. So what I thought is I would use some of my cute papers and try to make some decorations. So today we're going to make a wall hanging. I got an idea while I was out shopping, and we're going to try it and see what happens. So I'm just going to let you guys kind of hang on with me and see how much of it we can get done together. This wall hanging is going to utilize a $1 picture frame. Now, it's not cute right now, but it will be. I purchased $3 picture frames, so I'm just going to move those other side. I mean, I literally paid $1. Now, we're going to be using the Cricut Art Philosophy cartridge. If you don't own this cartridge and you have a Cricut, I can do anything with this cartridge. It's really amazed me, but we're going to be using this today for one of the elements, and I'll show you how. I have a mark so I can show you. Now, these are the 3 pieces that are going to become my wall hanging, and when I was at the store, I saw a gift bag, and it had a J and a Y. I kept thinking, what could I do for a wall hanging? It had a J and a Y, and then it had a piece of peppermint in the middle for the O, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to turn this into a piece of peppermint. So we're not going to start with that. We're going to start with the letters. Now, these letters were cut with the Cricut Art Philosophy cartridge, and they were cut at 5 inches. Now, you need to just do it based on what size your frame is. What I'm going to do, there's a red and the Believe. Again, this is the Believe paper pack, and it's the same paper pack. I haven't opened another one, so same paper pack. But I'm going to put these together so that the red shows through. You don't have to. You can leave it without anything and let the hole show through, but I like the red. So what I'm going to do, because I'm going to use this as a wall hanging and I want it to be fairly permanent, I'm going to use my bonding memories. I'm going to use the big tip because I think it'll make it go quicker. So we're going to rub that on fairly generously, not too much because you don't want it to really warp. Although the way we're going to mount it will keep too much of that from happening. But I really didn't want to use ATG on this project because I want it to be a fairly permanent project. I want to be able to, take it with me when I go into my new home and all that. So first things first, we're going to glue this J onto the other J. This is pretty simple. You're not trying to leave an edge, or you're just stacking them. And it's going to do 2 things for us. Number 1, it's going to cover those little holes. And number 2, it's going to make it a little sturdier since I want this to be a little more permanent. Now, I'm going to set this aside for a second. This will not take long to dry, but what I'm going to do while I'm working, I'm going to slide this under my cutting mat to help keep it flat while it dries. And now we'll do the Y. Now, this paper pack, all this paper matches. You don't have to do a lot of work. Just pick what you like, stick it together, and it pretty much does the job for itself. Again, while we're working on something else, so this doesn't warp. I don't think it will. It seems to be being pretty straight. But just as an extra precaution, I'm going to stick it under my cutting mat until we need it. Now, these pieces of paper, I actually cut 3 of these. You notice that I had the 3, and I want the red in the middle because it seems to be the most dominant when you look at them. So I don't want it to be heavy on one side, if that makes sense. These are all from the same paper pack, and if you flip them over, you see that it's the same thing I cut the letters from. So we're using this side. I cut these at 5 by 7. Now let's work on this peppermint. Now, what I did first, for the actual candy peppermint portion, I cut the circle 5 from the Cricut Art Philosophy cartridge. As a matter of fact, this might help. I'm going to bring the layer into the picture, and I can show you. I cut the circle 5, and if you look at your mat, you have your red dot, circle 5. Now, this one is just the cut. No layers, no nothing, just the cut. I cut it at 3 inches, so that's the size I'm using, but change that based on your frame. Now, for this piece, I cut the same button, but what you want to do is you want to find it on your sheet, and it's right here, and it's decorative layer. So, you're going to press decorative layer, and then that button. Or you can do decorative layer, repeat last. And as long as you don't change your size on your dial, then you'll get the same thing, but you'll get this layer. Again, 3 inches. Now for this one, and I put a little piece of paper in here so I could remember where to turn to. For this one, because I thought this had little points on it, I thought this would have points, and you're wondering what this is. I'm going to show you what this is in a second. But for this one, I cut the flower 2, looking on your pad, Flower 2 will be this button, and it's the straight button. You don't have to push anything else except for shift because it's at the top of the button. So shift, flower 2. Then I cut this layer, and this is the layer button. So I'm going to press layer, which is here, shift, and this button, and that's how I get that on the Cricut. Again, 3 inches. Everything was at 3 inches. All right. The plan for this one, I'm going to adhere this to this, and I'm going to do it like this. I'm not going to use this big one this time. I'm going to use my smaller bonding memories. Run this in the center to get it nice and adhered, and I'm going to run this out to these edges. Okay, you might have noticed I didn't do the very edge, and I'll show you why. Because I want this to look kind of like a peppermint and to be kind of festive, I'm going to offset this just a little bit. I just did this from trial and error when I sat it down. I thought, well, that's really cute, kind of offset, and it kind of gives you the look of a peppermint center. I think it's really cute. Now again, because I'm not using this right now, I'm going to put it under my cutting mat and hold it flat. This one I'm really going to line up straight. I did it in the green because I thought that was a good complementary color, and it won't be the same color as the peppermint itself. This is going to be our wrapper edges. So what I'm going to do first is go ahead and adhere these two together. Just going to turn this over. Use my bonding memories again. This time you can put it everywhere. And like I said earlier, I'm going to put this one on exactly. Now I held this up to my peppermint earlier, and I think I only want to use 4 peaks for the edge of the wrapper. So it's going to be about like that. So what I want to do is take my scissors, and I'm just going to freehand. You don't have to do it this way. If you would rather, you can do it with your paper trimmer. The way you would do it with your paper trimmer is you would line the line up here and here. And when you do this, it's gonna cut through the center, which is what we want. We want it to kind of cut through the center of that, but it's gonna give you too many, and you'll have to come back and cut one off. And then you'll have to do the same thing on this side. And here, we can try it this way. I don't mind freehanding, but I know sometimes for some people freehanding is a little intimidating. So what we got was a half here, and I want the same thing here. So now I'm gonna lay it down. And this is where this might get a little more difficult, but we can hold it pretty good like this. Now if your blade is not sharp, that might be harder to do than what I just did, but that's how we're gonna do it. Now I'm gonna leave this piece to help me adhere that to my peppermint. So just leave that little point. Let's do the. And now we have our peppermint edges. I'm gonna get our peppermint back. And this is how this is going to be. And doesn't it look just like a peppermint? I think it does. It at least gives you the idea of a peppermint. So what I'm going to do on these edges here, I think I'm going to adhere these with a glue dot. I wasn't sure how I wanted to do that, but I have these mini glue dots, and they work really well. So I think that's what we're going to do. I'll feel better about that, I think. Okay. All right, so now I can just decide. I think I'll let you be there, and that adheres that down. And then I think on this side, we'll bring it here. And that will adhere that side down. Now, if you're not comfortable with that staying, isn't that cute? It looks like a peppermint. Oh, it's so cute. I love this cartridge. I'm not sure, I'm not sure as to how long that will stay. If you're not sure, all you have to do on the back side, if you have a piece of scrap paper, and please ignore how bad this is, but I'll show you. You could always cut a strip. Let me show you. I'll just cut it. I'm gonna cut these little pieces off right here. And this was an actual piece of scrap that I used earlier. You can glue it down this way. And this will not show. So if we want to feel better about those staying, put that on the back and it's done. That is a cute peppermint. I love it. Now I'm gonna use my foam tape. That's what I really want these to be lifted up. But I actually think I'm going to frame them first, and I'll show you why. I'm gonna frame this into here, and I'm not gonna adhere it down or anything. I'm just gonna frame it. And I'm not using the glass that came with the frame. I'll use that for a project later. So you just wanna lay this in. Lay this on top. The reason I'm not using the glass is because I really want this to be three-dimensional. I will probably end up taking this off because I want this for a wall hanging, but if you don't want it for a wall hanging, you just want to sit it around, that's perfect. Look how cute. Any black frame dresses anything up. So our J will go in here. And I had thought about doing it kind of crooked, and I might, but I might do it straight. Probably since I'm going to do the peppermint crooked, I'll do this straight. I'm going to take my foam tape. This time, I haven't been using this one. This is the fatter or the wider of the foam tape. I've been using the narrow one, but this time I'm going to use this guy because I really, like I said, I keep saying it, I want this to last. You know, this is not a card that I'm sending to somebody. Okay, move you out of the way. Grab our J. And you might think I'm using too much of the foam tape, but for safety's sake, that was kind of my plan. So here they are all together, and I've decided to add some bling because I think they need something sparkly because they're Christmassy. So we're going to add some sparkles with these little guys right here, and they are known as, I'll show you the packaging, they are known as the bling assortment, and I'll put that on the information for you. Again, I'm going to pull out my glue dots because that's what I want to use to adhere them. Bring those out. Now I'm just going to take, actually a button, I'm going to take the button, place it on the back, and because these are minis, I'm going to use 2 for safety's sake. Place it right in the center here. I think this will be cute there. Isn't that precious? You might not can see the bling, but you'll be able to see it soon. Now, the 3 little holes on my letters, I'm going to use them as my design. I think that will work really well. So a couple of glue dots, and right there. Now, the big one in the center, and I'm going to use a smaller one in the smaller ones, which is basically how those circles are already done for us. Okay guys, so there you go, all blinged out, so cute. I'll show you that in the picture when we finish. You'll be able to see that really good. All right, so there's another one in our holiday Christmas series. And if you have any questions or comments, just leave them below. Don't forget to enter my giveaway. Saturday is the day I'll be drawing for the winner. So thanks so much, guys. Have a good afternoon. And soon we'll be saying Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.